Hello, greetings, and good morning. We are Crypto for Joe, cryptocurrency and blockchain ideas for your average Joe. Speaking today with Cayman Nava. Cayman, how are you?
Doing very well.
You know, I'm curious about Ethereum. You know, there's a lot to say about it, but I think that the main point is that's where most of the research dollars are going. That's the program that with the most promise, not as just as a cryptocurrency, but as a program, as a decentralized financial world. But without further ado, I want you to talk about the hierarchy of Ethereum. And I saw that Vitalik became a billionaire. The guy who invented Ethereum became a billionaire as of a couple days ago. Nice guy. And I know you know him, and we've seen him in San Francisco just walking around, very humble. If you've seen interviews with him, a good guy. So from him on down, tell me what the world of Ethereum, show us a hierarchy of Ethereum. There's got to be a star chamber, you know, and on down. So talk about who is involved and how that shapes out.
Right. It's definitely not a traditional kind of a hierarchy. There's no, Vitalik isn't the CEO. Right. And he's not ordering the underlings around.
Right.
People do joke about like Vitalik running like the master node of Ethereum and like, oh, Vitalik, when are you going to like reboot the master node? It doesn't work like that at all.
Yeah, that just goes back to the Frankenstein meme, but that's not the case here. So, okay.
I mean, there definitely are different players, different stakeholders, if you will. So my perspective is as a developer working on ETH2, working on the future of Ethereum, and we're moving away from using the word ETH2. It's just all of Ethereum because it's just one thing. Right. But some different players that you might see if you're investigating. There's the Ethereum Foundation research team. These are people who are more focused on the theory behind Ethereum, the game theory, and the mechanisms that are being used to enforce behavior in different ways. Maybe they're more looking at like the math. They're more looking at just things behind the scenes. And then you have various engineering teams who partner with them, who actually take these ideas from, more of like a naive code, just like sketching out the ideas down all the way to productionized, code that can run in data centers somewhere. And then you have, so that's kind of like behind the scenes on like the research and engineering side. And then beyond that, there's a very broad internet community of people who are just engaged more as users, giving feedback that way. There's an Ethereum improvement protocol, or Ethereum improvement process workflow whereby ideas from the community can end up making their way back into the Ethereum protocol as improvements. So
like Reddit groups and what have you that discussing practicalities.
Right. Just and the the internet and people in the world are so diverse. It's hard to say exactly where they're coming from. Some people are looking at the finance side. Some people are looking at just like as a user working with Ethereum. Some people are looking from other blockchains and how they're interfacing with Ethereum.
So you're with an Ethereum programming company, is that correct? And how many companies are there working on? Is it possible to say or ballpark how many companies are working strictly with Ethereum?
So I think it's a little hard to say. So the company I work for is called ChainSafe. They're based out of Toronto, and they're not even necessarily Ethereum specific. They're across all of the blockchain kind of ecosystem. And we've got projects in all sorts of different blockchains. But as far as Ethereum goes, there's people working at every level of the stack. So our team is working on, we're like protocol engineers. We're working on the Ethereum protocol. And then there's people building on top of Ethereum, like building smart contracts. There's entire teams of people building, building financial applications or building social applications on top of Ethereum, and that would be completely. I mean, it'd be a very different day to day than what we're doing.
Is there a social media in Ethereum yet, or is that coming? Or do you see one that looks promising, or is that years away?
So it's definitely coming. I mean, in some form. I don't know of any off the top of my head.
Okay.
So.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that's a good look at a little snapshot of where Ethereum is today, early May 2021, and we thank you for that information today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.